All right, welcome to this episode of Maximus Minute. And I want to talk about investing in you, investing in the most important possession that you own, your own body. You know, it's funny. People will invest in cars, they'll invest in TVs, they'll invest in shoes, they'll buy purses, they'll invest in vacations, they'll invest in houses, but they won't spend an extra cent on themselves. You know, I knew this couple that had a loaded Tesla, they had a Porsche, they flew first class, lived in a mansion, but claimed that organic food was too expensive. Now, help me make sense of that, because here's what's going to happen. Those material things, they can be completely replaced. You can get another Tesla. You can get another mansion. You can go on another vacation. You can get another TV. You're probably going to replace those things numerous times throughout your life. This body, it's completely 100% irreplaceable. I know all kinds of people that spend their entire lives chasing wealth, chasing money, buying material things, buying things to impress people that they don't even care about. But then when they're older, when they're 75, when they're 80, when they have a hard time getting up and down the stairs, when they can't grab something out of their own cupboard, when their kids are trying to put them in assisted living because they're not strong enough or fit enough to live on their own, how much money do you think they would pay to get their health back? All of it. Man, at the end of their lives, they would spend every cent they have to just get more time. But do you realize that you would have gotten that time if you would have just invested in yourself along the way? So here's the deal. I get that eating healthy can be a little more expensive. Organic food is more expensive than non-organic food. I get that supplements aren't cheap. I get that a gym membership isn't cheap. And I get that there's also a time investment there because it takes time to prepare quality food. It takes time to work out. But I promise you, you will get that investment back tenfold. Like, it's that simple. And I just want to talk about a couple of things where I see people fall down. First thing I want to talk about is protein. This is the protein I take. It's from a company called First Form. The flavor I like, CTC. But anyway, the key to this protein, and I'm looking around on this thing right now, is that it's low temperature processed. When something's processed at a low temperature, it takes a lot longer to make, which means it's more expensive because they can't produce as much of it. So this protein, consequently, is $64 for 32 servings. So it's about 64 bucks a month. That's the protein I buy because I value my body, I value my health, I value my wellness. Now you can go get a much cheaper protein. This we're looking at about $2 a serving, just so we know what we're talking about. You can get a much cheaper protein, $30 for a month, or $1 a serving. But chances are, and by chances I mean 100% of the time, that protein is processed at a high temperature. Well, what happens to it when it's processed at a high temperature? It ruins the protein and then it becomes unusable. Think of it like I use a chicken breast example. If you want to cook a bunch of chicken low and slow, you want to cook it on your grill at 165, it takes hours and hours to cook. Now, when it comes off the grill, it's juicy, it's succulent, it's delicious. It tastes like there was some real preparation put into it. On the other hand, if you want to take some chicken breast and throw it in a fire, oh, it'll cook in an instant, but now you're just eating ash. So when you go buy that $30 protein, that's what you're putting in your body. You're pissing most of it away. You can't use it. So again, it's why I get this. But let's go back to the topic of this Maximus Minute video. I'm willing to spend $60 a month on my protein. There are other people who won't. I actually have a client right now that doesn't want to buy this, claims it's too expensive. Dude buys a $200 pair of shoes every single week. Dude drives a loaded Tesla. Dude spends money at the bar Thursday and Saturday night. Dude buys high-end booze. Dude has hobbies. Dude gambles. Like, really? But you won't spend an extra 30 bucks on protein. You know what that says to me? You don't value your health and wellness. You can tell me you do, but your actions don't line up with your words. Now let's talk about creatine, another supplement. This supplement, and this will drive my point home. You have a person who claims that they want to lose weight. Pardon me while I have my little shake. Who claims they want to build muscle. Who claims that they're unhappy with their performance in the gym and they want to get better. You probably have a friend like this that tells you all the time that they don't like the reflection they see looking back at them when they look in the mirror. They complain about it constantly. And then there's this stuff called creatine, the most studied supplement on earth. And it actually works. It keeps your muscles hydrated. A hydrated muscle works better, but it also feeds on a cellular level. We're talking ATP. It feeds your muscle energy. So you will get stronger. You will put on more muscle. So it's guaranteed to work and it's studied. It's 100% safe. This stuff, I get you not wanting to buy some protein, right? It's $64. It's too expensive. 100 servings of this is $32. You need a serving a day. This is literally 3 months and change worth of creatine. It's $10 a month. So back to that person, your buddy. I want to gain weight. I want to be more muscular. Girls don't like me. I'm tired of being so skinny. I want to get shredded. I want to look good in the mirror. I want to look like that Bobby Maximus guy I saw on YouTube or Instagram, whatever their goal is. That person doesn't want to buy this because they claim it's too expensive. You know what you've just told me? You really don't care about your fitness. If you can't spend $10 a month on yourself, you don't value it. It's that simple. And listen, I'm okay with that. I would much rather you say, I just don't value being fit. I just don't want it. I love who I am. I don't want to go to the gym. I'd rather sit and watch Netflix all day. It's like the people that say they don't have time. You absolutely 100% have time. You have time for golf. You have time for Monday Night Football. You have time for football on Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Thursday. You have time for your fantasy league. I mean, if half of you put in as much effort into your physical fitness as you did your fantasy football league, we would have no issue with fitness in this world. That's the reality. But again, you won't even spend $10 a day to invest in yourself. But you'll invest in Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Burger King, like whatever. So the point of this whole video is not to get you to go run out and buy a bunch of supplements. It's not to get you to go out and necessarily buy a gym membership. It's not to get you to go out and necessarily buy organic food. Like, I'm really not selling anything. I'm just trying to drive home the point that this is, it's your most prized possession. It's not replaceable, and you get one of them. And you might think that there's no consequence to your behavior in your 30s, that there's no consequence to your behavior in your 40s. But you hit 50, you hit 60, you hit 70, man, the consequences are coming. You know, I'm 45. I'm counted as one of the fittest people in the world. I'm 10% body fat on the DEXA. I look great. I feel great. I can bench press 225 pounds 36 times. I can run a sub 50-minute 10K. I've won some Masters Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championships. I was on The Ultimate Fighter. I was the oldest contestant in the history of the show. Men's Health named me one of the 100 fittest people of all time. Like I've done a lot of stuff, and I'm doing a lot of stuff, and that's at 45. Like I'm a specimen of a human being, and it's funny because people always want to know what I'm doing now. You know what set the table for this? My behavior in my 20s, my behavior in my 30s. Like, it's funny, people ask me about drinking. I haven't been hung over since the early 2000s. Now, do I drink? Yeah, I like a good drink now and then. I like a glass of wine. I like a glass of tequila. I had one a couple of nights ago. But I literally have not been hung over since the early 2000s. Like, my drinking is kept in check. Max, I'm having 2 to 3 drinks a week. There are months where I'll go without. That has allowed me to be who I am today. Doing that when I was 30, when I was 31, when I was 32. Eating healthy, a 90-10 diet, I call it. 90% clean, 90% free of processed food, and 10% I can have a little fun. And truth be told, if you looked at my whole life, it's probably more like 95-5. 95% perfect, 5% having a little fun. You know, have I eaten McDonald's? Sure. Have I eaten at the Chick-fil-A? Sure. Have I eaten at the Pizza Hut? Sure. But it was never excessive. Like it was limited to 5% of my diet. Well, when 95% of my diet is perfect, of course I hit 45 and I look good and I feel good. Sleep. I spent my whole life sleeping. Now, there was a few years when I was a cop in Toronto that weren't great, but I still prioritized sleep and did the best I could. But if 45 years on this earth, take away the 6 years I was a cop, man, 39 years of those I have had completely prioritized to sleep. And even when I was a cop, like if I worked the midnight shift, I did sleep all day. So I did the best that I could. I wasn't out and doing stuff and blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying, what I've done today is because I invested in myself when I was younger. And when I'm 55, and I promise you I will be the fittest 55-year-old on the planet, it's because of what I'm doing right now. When I'm doing this right now, that's setting the table for my future. I just did a post the other day about my resting heart rate. I'm 6'3", 236 pounds. My resting heart rate's 48. That's elite. Like elite, elite, elite. It's not because of yesterday. It's not because of the day before that. It's because of 10 years ago. Think retirement. How much money you have in your retirement account when you're 70. Because you started putting into it when you were 30. And if you haven't started investing yet, the best time was 10 years ago. The second best time was yesterday. The third best time, it's right now. Just invest in you. So that's the deal. That's the Maximus Minute today. You got one body, you got one mind. Treat them right. Invest in you. Let me leave you with a party message. You deserve it. You realize that? You're the most important person in this world. You're special. You're unique. You deserve the best. So treat yourself like it.